Okay, so in this next video, we're gonna learn how to work with variables in our blueprint. So, as I was saying before, a blueprint is kind of like a visual representation of our program. So, remember, in programs, we have variables which store different types of value, right? So, how do we add them in our blueprint? We're gonna go here on this left side. And this left side is my blueprint tab where we have basically different things we can add to our blueprint. So we're gonna go here ahead here on the variables one and say plus here. This is gonna create a new variable that we can name and select a specific type for it. So here, in order to just practice a little bit, let's do as the example, create a variable that represents this 5 duration second that we have here in the delay node for the example we did. Let's go ahead and create a variable that's going to represent that. So we're going to say delay duration. And then here you can actually select the data type that that variable will have. So remember, for variables, there's the several data type. If you already have programming background, you should already know this. So we should have Boolean, which is true or false. We have integer, which is like whole numbers, float for decimal value numbers. We have string, and then a few different ones. We're gonna go, we're gonna learn all this step by step as we go. But for now, as you can see, you can choose the type that you want in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and select a float type since we want to have this variable to represent like an amount of seconds. I think float is a good choice for that. Now, in order to actually have it working in the blueprint, you have to drag and drop it. Well, let me actually rename this. I did like a typo here. Duration. Okay. Now I'm gonna drag and drop it. And then here, when you do that, you're gonna get two options, get and set. Okay, so when you do the get, you are basically gonna create the variable and use it with its default value. And then whenever you do set, you are getting the variable but setting a value yourself for it. So I'm just gonna show you both examples. Let's do get first. When I do get, you're gonna have the variable here. Make sure to compile and save at this point so that like everything gets updated. Now here, what you can do, you're gonna go on the details panel and go on this default value tab. So here, basically, you can select a default value for this variable. So let's go ahead and put 5. So now this variable delay duration has as a default 5 amount of seconds. So now we can use this to represent the duration that we already had in the delay node. And as you can see, these two are similar type of connection. Both have this light green type of connection, which means that is what the blueprint is expecting, a float type of value. So we're gonna connect this here, which now what it means is that when the delay node runs, is gonna use as the duration this delay duration variable, which, if we remember, has a 5-second default value. So in other words, this that we're doing here is gonna still do the same thing. The program will do 5 seconds, then quit, but now through a variable that we connected here. Okay, so that's kind of like a good example of how to use a variable in the blueprint. Okay, so now we can just leave that there. Now let's do the example where we use instead the set. Remember, when you drag and drop, you can do get or set. Let me show you what will the set look like. So you do set, right? It's gonna get this kind of node here. So now let's just organize this a little bit. So like extend the comment block if you have to, just to have more area, and move this around so it looks a little bit better. I'm gonna just have this here. something like this. Now, this set that we just added, if we take a look at it, it needs an input and an output. And here you have the delay duration parameter. So what's going on is that here you are using the same delay duration variable, but now you don't have to rely necessarily in the default as 5. Now you can basically set the value you want yourself, and you basically override the default by using this set value you want to give. So here let's try with like 10. So now we are going to have this delay duration as 10 for the set node. But now the problem is that this is not activated because it's not connecting, right? So what we're going to do is that we're going to change the begin play to instead connect to the set, and then the set connects with the delay. So what this does is that now when the begin play starts, is gonna go to the set. We're gonna change the delay duration value from default 5 to 10. Then we go on the delay node and run the delay node with the set. Okay, so the delay node still connected to this variable delay duration, as you can see here. But the thing is, the set overrides the value of the get that has the default as 5. So basically, at the end of the day, whenever we do this type of connection here, the delay node will run with the delay duration 10 that we just set. Okay, so here we can even change the the comment because we had it as 5. Now it's 10. So let's make sure this is working by compiling, saving, and then running our game. So now it should be 10 seconds. So wait out about 10 seconds, then the game should quit. So let's wait it out, and then boom, 10 seconds. So, sorry. So that means that my blueprint worked successfully. It used the variable delay duration, and I show you both ways. With the get that uses the default, or if we override that by doing set, which we change from 5 to 10. Okay, so do that for your programs as well. Make sure it's doing same thing.